grab your coffee, grab your tea, grab whatever you need to be here because it's time for us to chit chat, okay? If you don't know me, my name is Lakeisha, but you can call me Lexi. I have all my notes literally written down on my iPad. I love my iPad. I don't know. iPad needs to sponsor me because I talk about the iPad all the time. But as you can see, my notes are here. And I'm going to talk to you about the realities of moving abroad in your 20s because, you know, I really feel like social media creates this like facade, you know, it makes it seem like it's all great and hip and cool. But in reality, there are things that, you know, are a little bit hard and some things that I've learned and some things that are really, really good. And I'll let you know in the end my take on this, you know, would I recommend it, would I not, what would I suggest? Why did I move abroad? So for a little bit of backstory, I'm sure you can tell from the accent, but I actually grew up in the UK. So I grew up in London and then I moved to Derby to do my studies, my degree apprenticeship, and then I got a full-time job in Germany. So now I'm in Berlin. Why did I do it? I don't know, you know, I think people always want this like crazy story as to why I moved abroad and, you know, what made me want to do it. In reality, when I was younger, like a little kid, like as little as I can remember, and to be fair, my memory doesn't span past like anywhere, to be fair, I always forget, but when I was little and, you know, everyone asks you, hey, what do you want to do in your future and stuff, I always wanted to move abroad. Okay, I just think it's such an experience. I want to live abroad by myself and I want to do a big girl job, and I said it, I was like, I want to live abroad and I want to work abroad and I want to do a 9 to 5 abroad. I just want to feel the experience. I want to know what it's like to be in another country, and I want to know what it's like to meet different people, start afresh, be somewhere where no one knows you. And now bear in mind, when I went to Derby, it was that same kind of vibe. Like I was where no one knew me and stuff like that, but this was a complete different ballgame, you know, like I'm going to my degree apprenticeship, like I knew there would be other people my age and it would be easy to make friends. Going into my job, I'm working with like the average age is probably like 50 in this place, do you know what I mean? Like it was a huge gamble. Yeah, that was basically it. There's no other reason as to why I needed to move. I was very happy actually where I was. I don't love Derby, but I love the people in Derby. You know, they hold a very special place in my heart. And yeah, I felt a lot of love. I felt a lot of comfort and support in Derby, but I just knew if I didn't scratch this itch, then this itch would always remain, you know? I actually live very close to a church and the bells started ringing, which completely threw me off. But I think also the same time that I was ready to go abroad was the same time I was so big on social media. Like, you know, every video is like, yeah, go traveling in your 20s, go abroad in your 20s, live your 20s. And it just felt like something that people in their 20s do. And me, I've always kind of wanted to move on to the next thing, you know. It's like, okay, you do your GCSEs, then you do your A-levels, you do your A-levels, then you go to uni, then you do uni, then you have to do something else kind of thing, you know. And maybe like I'm stuck in the rat race or something, I don't know, but like I like having new goals to achieve. So for me personally, it wasn't going to be marriage and kids straight away. So it was moving abroad. So now I'm here. So when I first got here, I mean, everything was pretty much glamorized. I don't think anything has changed that much. I just think a little bit of reality has sunken in terms of, I don't know the language. Why am I in Germany when I don't speak German? And it matters, you know, no matter what anyone will tell you, they'll be like, oh, but everyone in Berlin speaks English. Oh, everyone does. And yeah, people speak English, but they don't speak English like you speak English. They speak broken English, okay? And they don't feel comfortable speaking that English, especially with someone that speaks English. I feel like if we both had broken English, it's a different story. But when you're speaking English with an English accent, then you have someone with broken English, they'd rather you just speak German with them, you know, because they feel more comfortable, they feel like you're having a conversation and it doesn't feel so difficult. Also, you will have so many misunderstandings because especially in London, you grow up with a lot of banter and you end up saying things and you realise that their brains aren't computing that banter, so then you just look really rude, you know. But that's like a whole nother thing. That's like, I guess, a little bit of a culture shock. You know how hard it was to find a Wi-Fi for my house? Like, so I got really lucky with accommodation, right? So one, I've heard Berlin is like a like a boxing match when it comes to accommodation, you know, like there's too many people, not enough places, same old, right, in big city stories. But I was quite lucky. I found a nice little apartment and I've made it all cute and cozy. And I'll tell you why that is important very, very shortly. I literally got sent a Wi-Fi box and the plug was bent, right? And I'm trying to put this plug in and it's not working, and I called them up and it's German, like it's pure German, and they're just, you know, ratting off like the AI German bot kind of thing, and I had no idea what was going on. No idea. Like it kept kind of calling on me because it was asking me to press a number and I didn't know what number to press, so I just had to, you know, try really hard, press different numbers and hope it made sense. And in the end, when I got through, the lady only spoke German, so then I was there like, right, and she was like, do you want me to send someone over? And I was like, yes, but you know, I think that's what she said. Then turns out I had to, like, you know, do some sort of thing and something else to get someone. Yeah, so I literally, anyway, that was a whole struggle and a half. So instead of just, you know, asking, making it simple for someone to just come and bring another plug, I like bit the plug, bent it, and then put it in my wall. Yeah, so the language is important at the end of the day, is what I'm trying to say. And this will apply to, you know, when you want a SIM card, when you want a flat, when you want like a gym membership, like these things are in German, and you just end up being lucky if there's someone that speaks English there and also wants to speak English with you. Let's put that one in there as well. Another thing that really hit me hard was the full-time job thing that I was going for. So like, I've already been working a full-time job like in Derby. So for 4 years I was already working a full-time job, and then, you know, coming here and working a full-time job, very different. Like it's so hard to make friends because you don't have the time. Everyone's like, okay, well, why don't you go do an after school activity kind of thing, you know, like, oh, go spinning, oh, go yoga, oh, do this, do that. Let me pause. I'm at work 8 to 4 standard. Then I'm traveling to work, which is another hour. Then I'm getting ready, which is another hour. Then I need to wind down, which is another, like, there ain't no time for me to be going to that exact swim class that is at 5:07, and then the S-Bahn's going to be late and I'm not going to make it to my class. Like, do you know what I mean? It just wasn't very doable, I think, for me. And also, like, on the weekends, I didn't like put my name down for any classes because I know that in the weekend I will be going and seeing people, maybe going back to England, like things like that. It's quite hard, and I think you need to really remember that, you know, like it's not going to be easy. People say like, yes, use Bumble, and there's people on Bumble, but those people speak German. So what is you doing, you know? I joined like a really big group, and half the time I don't even want to be doing what they're doing. Like, if you don't drink, if you don't smoke, you are going to struggle to like just mingle, okay? Because that is like the kind of activities you go for, you know. Oh, do you want to catch a drink? Oh, do you want to do this? And it's like, no, not really, you know. I'm sorry, I keep peeling my nail. I'm just gonna have to rip it off because otherwise it's gonna hurt me. And all I can say is, in due time, you will find the right people. It is not going to be easy, and you're going to have to put yourself out there in these random situations. Like, I have been in some random situations that you would never actually catch me in. Like, one, it's embarrassing enough being like, yeah, I'm on Bumble. Like, what? Like, can I not make friends? Do you know what I mean? And two, if you just give it time, the right people will flow in and out of your life. Like, it's okay, you will meet people, you won't really like, you know, melt. You won't really melt that well together, and then they'll leave, and then you meet other people, and it's just like this constant flow and flux. And I think it just has to be more open than normal, you know. Like, I think also there's this big thing in the UK that when you have your friendship groups, you stick by your friendship groups and you don't start mix and matching friendship groups. If you want, when you go abroad, to have a group of friends, you're really going to need to start introducing people to each other. Otherwise, you're just gonna have these solo friendships, which are quite hard to maintain, in my opinion. By the way, I just want to clarify, like, all of these things I'm telling you, they're for people moving by themselves. Not moving with your mans, not moving with your friend, not moving when you've got an auntie here or some family here. I'm talking about you pack up, you leave, you go somewhere where they don't speak your language, completely different and all alone. Because I feel like it would be a very different experience if I was with somebody, okay? So I just want to put that out there. Having said that, sometimes I wish I was here with someone. You know, I am so used to doing everything by myself. Like, I have gone on multiple solo dates. I have done everything solo that there is to do solo, and I realized I don't want to be solo, okay? I feel like all these videos online telling you, yeah, go on your solo date, do this solo thing. I feel like what they're really trying to like not get across is the fact that these solo trips are for you to know that you can be by yourself. But once you know that you can be by yourself, you don't need to keep going doing this stuff. We don't need to keep doing it. Okay, me personally, I'm not ashamed to say it. I want to go exploring with someone. I don't want to go to a new city and see these beautiful things and have no one to talk to. I'm going to a city, I'm seeing these amazing things, and I have to just in my head be like, this is nice. Oh yeah. I want to talk to people. I want to laugh. I want to make memories. You know, like for me, yes, places are beautiful, but it's the people that make the places. So that is something that I've definitely learned going abroad, and that's something that you'll need to keep in your mind, because I really thought when I was coming here I was gonna go to every single place, and then I realized, yo, I don't even want to do this alone. Like, I'd rather just stay at home. One thing about being so isolated from everyone you know is your motivation and your laziness. They're going to be like juggling up and down, up and down, up and down. Like one day you're going to be so motivated and you're going to do literally every single thing that you need to do. You're going to be, you know, having your dinner. You're going to be, you know, meal prepping. You're going to the gym. You're waking up at 5. You're having your yoga classes. You're studying. You're working hard. You know, you're doing a dance class, whatever it is. You're hitting every single thing and every single target that you wish to do. And the other days, you're rotting. When I say you're rotting, I am in my bed sheets aren't changed, clothes aren't changed, teeth aren't brushed. I'm just sitting there doing nothing because no one's there to tell me otherwise. You know, I feel like when you live at home, obviously you're like, I think you get quite distracted because your family's there, and not necessarily distracted, but a lot of the time, you know, you're going to spend with your family, or you're not necessarily going to do things, because I know that when I make videos at home, I do feel a little awkward, and it's like I gotta like close the door because I know everyone's listening to the TikTok that's playing around 5 times for me to learn the dance. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, I feel like when I'm at home, it is a lot more freer. Like if I wanted to just sit up and record, I can sit up and record. I don't need to wait for everyone to leave the room or whatever. And there's also the downside of things, where it's like when you are feeling lazy and demotivated, you feel extra sluggish because you're not doing it with people. You know, I feel like when I watch a movie alone, it's like I feel like I'm committing a crime. Like something's wrong, you know. I feel like I'm committing, but if I can do a whole movie marathon with a person for a day, yeah, I don't need to do anything. If I was with somebody and we were staying inside for the whole day, I feel accomplished, I feel fulfilled, you know. But if I'm doing it alone, it doesn't have that same kick for me. So staying motivated is very difficult, and I think that you're definitely going to need to be quite a strong-willed person to live by yourself, to make sure you're still hitting those targets, you know, and like kind of remembering why you came here in the first place. I feel like if you're gonna move, you need to have some sort of inclination as to why you moved. For example, me, like I've always wanted to do this, and I really wanted to find my style and like discover me as a person and understand, you know, what I really hold to value. For example, this traveling experience has made me realize it's not really location for me, it is people, and I need to be around people. So yeah, maybe I don't like the UK, but that's where my people are, you know. Something that I have found really helps is creating a home. Okay, now if you saw what I was living in for 4 years in Derby, there was no home, you know. I tried, like I don't really know what I was doing. I was like sticking out quotes on the wall. Oh, see, the people that I've seen this, like, it's just embarrassing now, do you know what I mean? But like, I used to have these quotes on the walls, and like it meant a lot to me, and I had these random paintings on the walls and stuff, but they weren't pretty paintings. There was no aesthetic. I had like pink, grey, green, orange, blue, like every color of the rainbow in that room, you know. It was just more of like a place. I also didn't earn as much money, so I just kind of had like random things and whatever I had, and I always knew I wanted to leave that place, so I never really tried. And I really had like community and other places to go, so where I was sleeping really wasn't an issue for me. Now I have come abroad, and I promise you, I actually have no intention of staying here forever. Like I probably will leave, because to me it was always just an experience I wanted to have. I still don't know how long, and I don't know what I'm doing, but it's just a feeling, you know. I have decorated my place. Like I have tried my best to make it as cozy as possible, and I have spent the money to, you know, figure out color schemes, figure out what textures I like. Like I love fluffy blankets. Like my mat is fluffy as well. I have a brown and green kind of like earthy theme going on, and I love it. And it's created such a nice safe space that when I come home, like I get a sense of homeliness, you know, that kind of like homey feeling when there's no people around. I feel like you can really replicate it with your space and trying to make your space as kind of peaceful for you as possible. Having said all of that, these are some practical advice, kind of tips that I would give someone if you're planning on moving abroad. One, please make sure you actually want to. Like, make sure you have an itch if you're going alone. And if you are just curious, go with somebody. You know, like, I think to move abroad alone in a country that doesn't speak your language, you need to have a desire. Like, you need to have an itch that's just uncontrollable, and you need to resolve it. Otherwise, I really don't think anyone's going to like this. I'll be so real. Especially if you're not running away from anything. I want to put that in as well, because if you're running away from anything, a new place is a breath of fresh air. For me, I actually really loved where I was, and I was happy and I was satisfied, and I really, really liked it. This was genuinely because I had an itch. Please, please, please stick to your hobbies, or go and refine your hobbies. Now, when you are working full time, you really need to especially like I work in STEM, okay? Nothing about this screams STEM, because STEM isn't everything about me. You know, like I love to paint, and I have a little painting area in the corner over there. And I brought back painting. It brings me so much peace. It brings me so much joy and like a sense of creativity, which I love. So like I post videos because it makes me happy. I don't know, like I just love doing it. It's fun. It's something to do. And also it actually gives me a chance to talk without kind of sounding stupid. Like I don't have anyone to talk to day to day. Like literally, if I don't call anyone, I am silent. And for someone that is so talkative, that's like really, really hard. So this is like a breath of fresh air for me. I be trying to go gym. I be taking up yoga, teacher training. That's right. That's right. I'm gonna learn to be a yoga teacher. You know, just don't like stop doing things. And I feel like regaining your passions and sticking true to your hobbies will make sure that you still feel like yourself, even though everything's like constantly changing and you're constantly learning new things. You kind of have that little bit of stability. Another thing I would really, really recommend is always having another trip planned. By that, I mean, let's say you have your friends back home, your parents, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whatever. Let's say there's somebody back home that you really want to see. Something I find that is very, very, very helpful is making sure that there is another trip planned. Okay, so for example, let's say I went to London last week. Okay, I know that in London, I literally booked a ticket for next weekend, and it makes me so happy because, okay, I know that next weekend I have a trip coming up. Then my family is going to come see me in October. And then I know that I'm still going to see people, and like I'm not losing those connections. I think one thing that's really hard when you go abroad is you feeling like you're losing connections and you're, you know, like not as close to people and stuff like that. But if you have a trip planned, you feel motivated, you want to keep going and kind of push through those hard days because you know that you're still going back to the people you love and that they're still there for you. So I guess the interesting bit is all about what I've learned, right? So for me personally, this whole experience, it's been 6 months now, I know. A lot of clarity. I think I have so much time alone, and it's really made me realize the kind of person I am, the kind of style I have, the kind of aesthetics I'm after, the kind of person I want to be. You have a lot of time to figure out your dreams and goals, and I feel like these 6 months have been a lot of reflection. I haven't even been posting online as much. You know, if you've been following me, you know that I kind of went MIA for a bit, and I wasn't like depressed or anything, guys. Like, thank you so much for checking up on me. Like, so many of you sent me messages and stuff, and I didn't respond because I didn't know what to say. It was like, I'm totally fine. Like, I don't know what to tell you guys. I just really wanted the time to figure out what I wanted to do. You know, I was like thinking, hey, is social media for me, or, you know, am I just doing, like, what am I doing when I, you know, like I felt like I had no real direction. Like I was just posting for the sake of it, but then I realized that's what makes me happy, so that's what we gonna do. And yeah, that's why I wasn't posting. But yeah, I just want to say again, thank you so much for everyone that was messaging like, That was very, very cute. I know, like, I kept seeing them and I was like, oh, you guys remember me? Like, really sweet. All in all, I would recommend, you know, as hard as it is, as lonely as it gets, it's really good. Like, you learn so much about yourself. For personal development, moving alone abroad, 10 out of 10. Like, I see why everyone's saying it, but not for the reasons they're saying it. I'm saying it more if you're on this development streak and you really want to kind of figure out how you want to build your life and, you know, stuff like that, I would 100% recommend it. If you're running away, that's a different story, huh? But yeah, if you have an itch, get that itch sorted, because now I have so much more clarity on what I value. It was a great experience. It is a great experience, and you know, 6 months down, like, I'm living by myself in an apartment, like, I have a full-time job, I get to travel so many times. Like, it's so cool being able to go on the airplane like so frequently because I have people to see. It's a blessing, you know. It's a blessing meeting all these lovely people at work. I found people that are around my age and they're so lovely to be around, you know, and I really think it's worth taking that gamble, because you never know. And I think that's like the cool part about it, you know, like, you never know until you do it. So you should 100% definitely do it. I hope this video gave you a bit of insight or a little bit of help if you wanted to move abroad, and kind of my perspective on it. You know, all I have to say is 100% go, just go with open eyes. Like, please don't be me and go like la 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 la, and like, you know, you just get hit with pebbles every single time. The reason I said pebbles is because it's not that bad, you know, even if you go with la 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 la, like, it's all good. If you guys are planning on moving abroad, or if you have any tips, definitely let me know in the comments, and share this with a friend, you know, that you think would need some advice or help, or whoever just wants to have a chit chat sessions with me in my living room. Thank you so much for watching. Love you. Bye.